Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we have a very special episode. I'm going to be analyzing a single scene, or rather almost a single panel from Kaiju number 8, chapter 32. Now, this is the panel where Kaiju number 8 is winding up to punch the bomb. Now, Kaiju number 8, in this stance, a lot of people laughed and called it an homage to the Kamehameha-A. Well, I can see why you did that. The thought did kind of cross my mind while I was looking at it, and I'm sure it probably crossed the creator's mind while they were drawing this panel. However, I really don't think that is what this is, at least not primarily. So, why do I say that? Well, I've actually taken a few years of Kung Fu. I practice Kung Fu myself. In the series of movements leading up to that scene and following it, I recognized quite simply a standard body hook. And this is one of the standard Kung Fu motions. It's what you do for the absolute most power, especially when you are punching at something taller than you. So I recognized that as a body hook, and I accepted it for what it was. And looking back at it now, this means that the creators, they have a really good understanding of martial arts. It's probably why they're so good at drawing Vice Captain Hoshina's movements. But rather than explain it to you myself, I'm going to let my Sifu explain it to you. Sifu Bronson from Mountain Warrior Kung Fu Academy. He does instructional videos on YouTube for us, his students, and is really awesome. So, in his words.
Let's take a look at your body hooks. We have two types. We have body hook stepping with the back foot and body hook stepping with the lead foot. So you start in your basic open position, which you already know. Feet about shoulder width, knees bent, hands up, elbows in. I'm going to do body hook stepping out with the back foot. When you do the body hook, stepping with the back foot, you step out to about even with the front foot and about double shoulder width. See if I can slip over here on the grass. So you step out there, drop that hand out and down, and then push off that leg and drag up to the other side. And throw. If you throw this punch properly, you'll be spiraling upwards, and you should feel as though you throw yourself off balance. We're trying to develop follow-through. That follow-through is incredibly important. So if you're not driving through that and feel like you're gonna fall off balance when you get it spun up there, then you're not doing it right. Because when you hit a person, you hit anything that has density, when you hit that, their density, their mass, their body mass is going to eventually stop you. You will not get through them, sorry, as much as you'd like to try. You're not gonna get your fist to go all the way through that person's body. That being said, we want to have as much drive into it as we can. When you practice in the air or practice on a pad, you've got to follow through. And if you're in the air, especially on pads usually as well, you should feel off balance when you throw this punch. Okay, that's body hook stepping with the back.
Okay, you got all that? So, let's look at the scene that leads up to the bomb punch. You have Kafka. He's gone there and he's found his position directly below the giant Yoju bomb, and he's standing there and he immediately assumes, and you can see from the rear what you saw from the front with Sifu Bronson. His feet are about shoulder width apart. Kafka has really broad shoulders in his Kaiju number 8 form, and one foot is back, putting an angle between his rear foot and his front foot, as you show in the preparation for the attack. Now, if you look at the smaller panels that just show his calves, you can see that he's bracing his weight back on his heel in preparation for launching off, and he's opened up his rocket boosters. This is the equivalent of tightening your muscles and preparing to punch. Then he winds up into what everybody calls the Kamehameha position. This is just the first slight dip down before you launch the body hook. And so he's got his entire body twisted around because he's going to throw himself into that spiral Sifu Bronson mentioned. And in the next panel of his movement, you can clearly see that he's coming out of the spiral and straightening up. His left shoulder and arm are coming around, and his right fist and elbow are coming around. He's doing that corkscrew motion. In the next panel, you can really see it. His body's twisting around and he's aligning himself so all 4 of his rockets, the elbow rocket, well, all 6 rockets really, because he's got 2 on each calf, but his 4 calf rockets and his 2 elbow rockets are all pointed in the same direction. And in the final panel, you can see that he has completed his rotational motion. Now, his rotational motion is only about, I'd say, between 30 and 50 degrees, maybe a 45-degree rotation because he jumps so fast. That's all he had time for, which brings him to the point where all of his rockets are aligned in the same direction. His arm is straight out, and his joints are locked. So all of the force of his rockets and his jump and his punch are being transferred through his shoulder into his arm. And we can see the force of that. It's like it rips apart his arm almost. It compacts. His arm compacts and his internal fluids are spilling out. So everything that was done here is actually very real life kung fu, or what real life kung fu would be if you had someone who could really bring it out at that level. Again, you go to the beginning. He's taken that body hook stance. His left foot's forward and his lagging foot is behind. Their feet are about shoulder width apart. And then he braces himself and launches off of his rear foot, bringing his body around in a corkscrew motion that completely throws him off balance. Like Sifu Bronson said, if you do this move correctly, you will be off balance. Because Kafka knew that he could never punch all the way through the Yojo bomb. So that's why he chose a body hook. He was just going to put all the force and all the effort he could into moving it, because that's what the body hook is to do. It's to drive your opponent backwards. And if you'll notice, in the beginning panels, you see Ichikawa yelling at him, "Sir, do you have any idea what you're doing?" And the next panel isn't focusing on Kafka's movements, it's focusing on his eyes, or rather the eyes are the window to the soul. It's focusing on what he's thinking of. He's planning what he can do, and he knows he can't take out the Yojo bomb. He can't stop the blast, so he's going to deflect it. He's going to push it back. And the best punch to use when moving an opponent that much larger than you is a body hook, because it just gives you so much power, especially when you're punching up. Again, so you see him take the position, one leg forward, one leg in the rear, feet about shoulder width apart. He winds up, drops his punching hand down to his rear leg, and then he launches off. And then he brings his body up around in a corkscrew, and then at full extension with his so none of the energy transfer is lost in his joints. He just punches the Yoju bomb and knocks it upwards and into the stratosphere. And that punch, and you can tell like a body hook is supposed to, the punch went through the target. You can see because the Yoju bomb bows in like something that's taken a tremendous blow. And so that, I guess the TLDR version is this. That one panel where he's winding up, he's got his right arm dropping below his rear leg and he's twisting his body. That is not an homage to the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha was originally designed to be a body hook that you slug into an opponent much more larger and more powerful than yourself. The Kamehameha and Kaiju number 8's attack here were both based off of the same real-world kung fu punch, the body hook. And I guess it's because this one was so hard for me. I had to work really, really, really hard to get this one in my drills. I was just always very acutely aware of the technical positioning, so that's why the scene immediately spoke to me as a body hook. And if you want to watch more amazing kung fu by Sifu Bronson, there's a bunch more videos on his channel. And if you're anywhere in the Portland area around Oregon, check out Mountain Warrior Kung Fu Academy. It's a great self-defense place. Don't go there if you're into tournaments and ribbons and competition. He does a very hands-on, practical self-defense teaching, and it's a lot of fun. But you can go to his YouTube channel and check that out. The link will be in the description below. But again, not an homage to the Kamehameha, just good, plain, honest kung fu. And below the link to Sifu Bronson's YouTube channel, check out the links to Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, A Book of Human Absurdity, Laughter is the Best Medicine, and if your heart needs some medicine right now, check out this Book of Human Madness. There's even some kung fu jokes in there. So, peace out, my wonderful viewers.
The book from author Betty Adams, Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, is a humorous look at human behavior through the eyes of aliens. This book is arranged in separate reports or essays, documenting the experiences with humanity through the lens of the aliens who have to interact with them. This anthology of short stories and vignettes from alien points of view highlights some of humanity's quirks we can all relate to. Author Betty Adams captures how strange and interesting humans can really be. This is a fun collection of stories you will really get a kick out of. Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, from author Betty Adams. Order your copy right now on Amazon.